Classic movies. By Judy Dungeey. Don't get swept along in The Wave. The Wave, 1981. Stars Bruce Davison, directed by Alex Grasshoff. Written by Johnny Dawkins, from a novel by Richard Strasser and an article by Ben Ross. This film is rather obscure, and the only way I could see it was on YouTube, and very fuzzy at that. However, it is a very important story, and fortunately, there have been 5 other iterations of the event it portrays, including a musical, several docudramas, and a German-language modernised version from 2008. All these versions are based upon an actual event that took place in a Californian school in 1967, when a high school teacher undertook to answer his students' questions about Nazi Germany. The students simply could not conceive of why the German people suffered Hitler and the Nazi Party to carry out the Jewish Holocaust. So many millions dead. How could they have let that happen? How could they not have known? The teacher, Ben Ross, unable to answer the question satisfactorily, begins teaching the class about discipline in a one-day lesson that has them sitting up properly, standing up to answer or ask questions, and beginning each question with, "Mr. Ross?" The students lap it up, and to his surprise, the next day when he arrives, the class is again sitting properly, eager for more discipline. So he continues with what is essentially a program of indoctrination, outlining 3 basic rules of strength, or power, through discipline, community, and action, a mantra that repeats throughout the movie. The class, he tells them, has become part of a movement called The Wave, which sets them apart from everyone else in the school. He gives them a name, demonstrated through a badge depicting a wave. A wave has movement, direction, and impact. He gives them a salute, so they will know each other, a hand on heart, lifting to a raised, curled hand, a wave. The program takes off, involving everyone in the class, who then go out and involve other students until the movement numbers a large proportion of the school. Previously weaker students, scorned by classmates for years, now find themselves part of the whole for the first time in their lives. One such student even begs the teacher to appoint him as bodyguard. Over the next 2 weeks, that's a surprising thing, the whole process took only a few days to radicalise the students. The wave begins to get out of hand. Students who wish to retain independence, or who can see what is happening, are shouted down or shunned. Other students are being harassed to join the movement, and, inevitably, violence begins to emerge. The school principal takes Mr. Ross aside, insisting he has lost control of the experiment and is on an ego trip. Mr. Ross is firm that he needs the experiment to run its full course, and he will end it his way. One of the more intelligent girls in the original class, in fact, it was her question that started the whole affair, starts to have doubts about the value of the exercise, despite being an enthusiastic participant at the beginning. She begins writing articles railing against the wave in the school paper, and when her boyfriend asks her to stop, they argue. He tells her she is just jealous because she is no longer the smartest girl in the room, and now she knows what he felt like when she always had the answers the rest of them did not. The romance is over, and things take a nasty turn when the rest of the class decides that she must be stopped in whatever way necessary. Mr. Ross at last announces a big rally for the entire wave population, telling them that a prominent politician will address them as part of a wider youth movement that has been building in high schools throughout the country. Only wave members are allowed to attend this highly confidential rally. The students gather in the school hall, doors are closed to outsiders, and guards are posted. A television screen is set up, and as it flickers into life, the audience waits breathlessly. After 10 minutes or so of nothing but static, the students begin to suspect there is no leader.
"Oh, yes there is,"
says Mr. Ross, and a figure appears on the screen. Adolf Hitler.
"There's your leader. You are ready to follow without question anything in the name of the wave,"
says Mr. Ross.
"You didn't care who you hurt. You can see where it was going. What more would you have done? How far would you have gone?"
Shamefacedly, the students take off their armbands and throw down their banners, shambling out of the hall, having learned their lesson. Mr. Ross's bodyguard collapses in tears, back to being the class creep. This made-for-television movie is less than an hour long, but it has a powerful message that resonates very loudly today. In 1981, it was trying to strike a warning to those who believed that fascism had had its day and could never happen here, particularly in the US. It was shown in high schools throughout the 1980s and 90s, but somehow has slipped from the curriculum in more recent times. The German-made remake sounded the same warning in 2008, making it more poignant because it was set in contemporary Germany. However, its German language probably fell on deaf English-speaking ears. In 2025, the warning could not be more pertinent or urgent. Remember, this was based on a real event. Even in 1967, when they were great, American people were still ready to believe. I am surprised no one has resurrected this film in the US. Perhaps a remake is in the works, or perhaps they can't get funding. I never thought I would say this, but thank goodness for YouTube.